There are times when we stand at the crossroads of life, feeling discouraged, tired, and wanting to give up. Rejections, failures, doors slamming in front of us make us doubt ourselves. But then one day, when we look back, we realize every rejection is not the end, but a direction bringing us back to where we belong. Don't be sad when someone turns their back on you, don't collapse when an opportunity fails. Maybe the universe is removing you from something that is not right for you to prepare for something better, a brighter path that you have not seen yet. Miracles are often not noisy, they come from the times you are patient with pain, with being lost, and still moving forward. You cannot control others, you can only control yourself. That is a powerful truth, but few people are brave enough to accept. You can give kindness, you can live kindly, but you cannot force someone to love you, understand you, or appreciate you. The more you try to control the outside world, the more you get hurt. Turn inside, where you have full control over how you react, how you love, how you live. Life goes on, whether you want it to or not. There are things you once wished for that never came to pass. Don't regret it. Sometimes, what you thought was better was just an illusion drawn by your desires. If something didn't happen, believe that it was not meant for you, or at least not for the current version of you. Someone once said, life can only be understood in retrospect, but it must be lived in forwards. We don't need to understand everything to be happy. There are pains that we only feel strong when we go through them. There are breakups that we only know our worth when we go through them. Comparison is the thief of joy. When you look at others and ask yourself, why do they have it and I don't, you are underestimating yourself. You can't know what they had to trade, what they had to lose to get to what you see. Each person has their own life, their own journey. Don't let the halo of others overshadow your value. Walk your own path, slowly, alone, but surely. Happiness is not about the destination, but about how you see the world each day. You can choose to see a rainstorm as a nuisance, or as a gentle symphony of nature. You can choose to see failure as the end, or as the beginning of a new chapter. Your mindset is the compass of your life. When you change your perspective, the world will change with you. And the most beautiful thing is, you can choose again, at any time. There are pains that cannot be named. They have no form, no explanation, they just lie in the heart, like a steady rain that never stops. Loss, whether it is a loved one, an unfulfilled dream, or an old version of yourself, always leaves a void, not to be forgotten, but to be learned to live with. People often say time heals, but the truth is, time cannot heal anything if we do not want it to. Time only brings opportunity, and we have to be the ones to move on, to get up from where we fell. Maybe you once believed that someone would be by your side forever. Maybe you once put your heart into something, a love, a plan, a belief. Then one day, it all falls apart. Like someone pressed pause while your favorite song was still playing. Empty. Shocked. Numb. But you are still here. You are breathing. You can still feel the wind, hear the leaves falling, and even though your heart is full of cracks, it still beats. We are not taught how to lose. Society teaches us to win, to achieve, to possess. But sometimes it is more important to learn how to lose, with grace, with courage, and without losing yourself. Every loss is a reminder, you live, so you can hurt. And if you can hurt, you can feel, and that is the most beautiful thing about being human. Vulnerability, when accepted, does not weaken you, but makes you more human, more profound, and more appreciative of every ordinary moment. You do not have to get over pain like a tough warrior. You just have to embrace it as a part of life. Cry if you need to. Fall down for a while, as long as you do not give up on yourself. Pain is not your enemy, it is your teacher, teaching you lessons in letting go, in sacrifice, and in resurrection. One day, when you look back, you will see, the things that choke you today are the things that make you grow tomorrow. Every wound has a reason to exist. It may never heal completely, but you will learn to live with it, not with resentment, but with gratitude. Be grateful that you loved so deeply. Be grateful that you dared to dream so much. Be grateful that you were brave enough to hurt, and still choose to continue living kindly. You don't need to forget, just accept. And in that acceptance, you will find yourself again, a version that is no longer intact, but more beautiful, more honest, and more compassionate. Loss is a sad chapter, but not the last. You are still writing your life story. And perhaps, the wounds of today will one day become the crown you wear, proving that you have lived fully. There comes a moment in your life when you find yourself in ruins. Everything that was once familiar suddenly becomes strange. The face in the mirror looks back at you with no light. You smile, but the smile does not touch your heart. You walk, but you do not know where you are going. That is when you realize you have lost yourself without knowing it. The hurt does not come loudly. It creeps in through the times you stay silent instead of speaking up, endure instead of letting go. It grows with each time you nod for fear of upsetting others, each time you lie to yourself just to maintain something that has long died. You are no longer you. You are the version that others expect, that society accepts, and that hurt molds. You live as if you were someone else, until your own soul cries out for help. Who am I? Where did I go? That is not the question of being lost. It is a sign that you are awakening. And the journey back to yourself, painful as it is the most sacred journey a human being can make. No one can show you the way. Because you are not the destination, you are the journey. You will have to face memories that make you tremble. You will have to look directly at parts of yourself that you once tried to deny, the weakness, the anger, the longing to be loved. You will have to learn to touch yourself with tenderness. No one teaches us how to love ourselves after we have been hurt. But those cracks are windows that let light in. Step by step, you will learn to walk again, not with your feet, but with your trust. Trust that you deserve to be happy, to be heard, and to be yourself, fully, without covering up. You will realize, you do not need to be strong in the way that people expect. Being strong is not about not shedding tears, but about daring to face the pain, daring to sit in the dark, and daring to start over, from the broken pieces. And then one day, you will look in the mirror, no longer afraid. Your eyes will still have sadness, but it will be gentler. Your smile will not be forced, but filled with peace. You will no longer be the person you used to be, but you will be the most authentic version you have ever known. You will learn to listen to the little voice inside, the call of your heart, of your intuition, of your soul. And you will walk, this time not to please anyone, but because you have found your way home, a place called yourself. Forgiveness, two words that seem so light, but are one of the most difficult things a person can do. Especially when we have been hurt too deeply, have cried until there are no more tears, have become speechless because of helplessness. Forgiving someone who has hurt us is like letting go of the very reason to continue to be angry, to continue to hold on to the resentment that we see as an armor to protect ourselves from being hurt again. But the truth is, forgiveness is not a gift we give to others, but a gift we give to ourselves. When we have not forgiven, that pain lives on in us. It arises every time something reminds us. We do not live in the present, we live in the past. In that moment, the person who hurt us may have moved on, but we are still stuck, still repeating the old story in our head like a record that keeps playing over and over again. And then at some point, we get tired. Tired of stress, of holding a flame of hatred in my heart. Tired of realizing that I am the one being burned. That is when my mind begins to whisper, it's time to let go. But how do we forgive someone who has hurt us? Not by denying the hurt. Nor by justifying them. Forgiveness begins when we dare to look straight at the wound, admitting that I was hurt, and that pain was real. Only when we allow ourselves to feel the pain fully, can we begin to heal. Forgiveness is when we say, I cannot change the past, but I can choose not to let it ruin my future. And sometimes, the hardest person to forgive is ourselves. We blame ourselves for being too trusting, for being too weak, for not leaving sooner, for not being good enough to be loved properly. But my friend, how can we blame a heart that is just trying to love, trying to survive? I did the best I could, with the awareness and understanding at that time. What journey doesn't have mistakes, falls? You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You don't have to be strong all the time to be forgiven. You just have to be honest with yourself, be gentle with past mistakes, and accept that people are like the moon, always dark, but still shining. When you forgive others, you remove the chains from your own soul. When you forgive yourself, You open the door to a new life where you are no longer a victim, but a person who chooses freedom. And then one day, you will feel lighter. Not because the other person has changed, but because your heart is no longer bound. That is the moment you understand, forgiveness does not weaken, it strengthens. Have you ever sat in a familiar room, looked in the mirror and asked yourself, am I worth it? When someone leaves us, especially someone we once loved deeply, once trusted completely, the first feeling is not anger, but doubting our own worth. Am I not good enough? Am I not beautiful enough, not smart enough, not interesting enough? Is it possible that, if I were just a little different, that person wouldn't have left? Those questions, like hundreds of small knives, cut into our self-esteem little by little. Sometimes, we no longer see who we are. We only see a form that is left behind, rejected, compared. But my friend, your worth is not in the way someone looks at you. It lies in the way you look at yourself. A diamond ring, if it falls into the hands of someone who does not understand its value, can be considered a sparkling piece of jewelry, and then lost unconsciously. But that does not make the diamond lose its value. It is just in the wrong place. The same goes for you. You are not insignificant just because someone does not appreciate you. You are not useless just because someone does not need you in their life. People leave not because you are not worthy, but because they cannot see the wonderful things in you. But that does not make you less. Your heart still knows how to love, knows how to give. Your soul is still gentle, still carries within it thousands of beautiful pieces. You are the sum of the pain you have overcome, the silent sacrifices, the unfinished dreams. You are the light, even though you have been swallowed by darkness. You can be hurt. You can stumble. You can be rejected. But you are never worthless. Try to remember the things you have done for others, small acts, but full of love. Remember the times you tried to move on, even though your heart was heavy. The times you cried silently but still smiled at everyone. Only a person with a beautiful heart can do that. And that is you. No one has the right to make you doubt yourself, not even the person who held your hand and then let go. They can leave, but you stay with yourself, stay with the belief that you are worthy of a complete love. When you begin to see your worth, the world will reflect that back. You will attract people who love, appreciate, and stay, not because you change to please them, but because you become the most authentic version of yourself. True love begins when we learn to love ourselves. If there is one thing you need to remember today, let it be this: I am valuable, even if someone else has never seen it. For a long time in my life, I thought pain was my enemy. I hated it, feared it, and tried to avoid it in every way. I tried to live as positively, as cheerfully, as strongly as I could, as if I was immune to pain. But then, life didn't ask my opinion. Pain came, without warning. Like a storm that swept away everything I believed to be solid, a loved one passed away, a love broken, a dream broken. I collapsed. I cried until I was exhausted. I didn't understand why this was happening to me. And the most painful thing wasn't the loss, it was the feeling that I couldn't bear it. I used to think, how nice it would be if I didn't feel anything. I used to wish, if only there was a switch to turn off emotions, I would press it without hesitation. But you know what? It was when I let the pain pass that I realized, pain doesn't come to destroy us. It comes to soften our hearts. I learned to sit with sadness, no longer trying to push it away. I allowed myself to cry, to be weak, to be not okay for a while. And strangely enough, it was then that I began to heal. I realized that pain is a natural part of life, like winter in the cycle of 4 seasons. No one can avoid it, but if we go through it, we will see a miracle. Our hearts have the ability to heal. Those who have suffered the most are often the ones who understand the most. They know how to love more, how to listen, how to stay by others' side when they need them. Because they have been in the darkness, they know how to appreciate the light. Without pain, how would we know how precious healing is? Without loss, how would we know how to cherish what we have? If we never cried, how would we know the power in tears? We are not born to live a life without pain, but to learn how to become more beautiful after pain. Pain does not make you a bad person. It only makes you more real. Imagine life as a piece of music. If it was all high notes, we would be tired. It is the silences, the sad notes that create depth. Pain is a low note, necessary for the symphony of your life to resonate with emotion. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be ashamed of it. And don't let anyone make you think you are weak when you are in pain. You are learning one of the greatest lessons in life. Accept the pain, and move on with an open heart. There are things that used to make you smile, but now, just mentioning them makes your heart ache. There are people you thought would be with you forever, but now they are just memories. There are dreams that burned in your heart, but the tighter you hold on, the more painful they become. We all carry things like that in us. And the question is not, how can I not lose them? But, when will I accept to let go? Letting go is not easy. Sometimes, it feels like we are betraying ourselves, betraying our feelings, memories, and past days. We are afraid that if we let go, we will have nothing left. That we will be empty, lonely, and a failure. But then one day, you will realize, there are things so heavy that only when you let go, can you stand up straight and breathe fully. I used to hold on to a broken relationship, just because I was afraid of feeling alone. I tried to save a dead dream, because I didn't want to admit I was wrong. I hugged the past like a torn shirt, because I wasn't ready to face the present. And then, I was exhausted. Letting go, I learned, is not a defeat. It's accepting the truth, that I deserve something lighter, healthier, kinder. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. Every painful memory, every old expectation, every self-blame is a stone in your backpack. The more you go, the heavier it gets. Sometimes you can't walk anymore, because you refuse to put it down. Letting go doesn't make you weak, it's a sign of strength. Because it takes courage to face loss and accept, you deserve something new. Letting go is not forgetting, it's forgiving. Not to throw away, but to select what to keep. Not to turn away, but to return to yourself. Do you see? The sky cannot be blue when it is covered by dark clouds. The same goes for your mind. Only when you let go, will you have enough space for the light to flow in? You may cry when you let go. You will regret. You will tremble. But then, you will feel light. You will feel free. You will see that you are still whole, even more beautiful than before. Sometimes, what you need is not another chance, another promise, another person, but less. Less of a burden, less of a dream that no longer fits, less of a word that hurts you. Because only when your heart is empty enough, can life fill it with new wonders. Letting go is not the end. It is the first greeting for a new journey, lighter, more serene, and deeper than ever. We often think that happiness is something big, a resounding achievement, a perfect love, a miraculous turning point that changes our whole life. But then life quietly teaches us one thing: happiness is not noisy. It lies in the tiny, simple, and ordinary things that we often forget. Waking up early in the morning with a steady heartbeat, a cup of warm water to soothe a dry throat, a simple text message, "How are you today?" Those things, seemingly small, but when they are absent, we understand, they are gifts. Gratitude is a magic glass that helps us see clearly the miracles that are present around us every day. No need to wait for something big to happen, no need to have everything in hand, just a grateful heart. The world is different. I used to be someone who always felt lacking. Lacking success, lacking luck, lacking love, lacking peace. I looked around and always compared. People have more, higher, farther. But I was always struggling. Until one day, in the middle of an illness that seemed not serious, I lay still and listened to my heartbeat. Suddenly, I burst into tears. I am alive. I am breathing. I am hearing the birds outside the window. I have a mother to call home. I have a roof to return to. I have hands to write these lines. Yet for so long, I have never been grateful. From that day on, I learned to stop every day, just for a few minutes, to realize the small but miraculous things. Thank you for the eyes that still see the light. Thank you for the feet that still carry me through the streets. Thank you for the vendor who smiled brightly even though I only bought a package of sticky rice. Thank you for the sunlight that shines into the small room. Thank you for myself, for not giving up. When you truly look at life with gratitude, you will see, nothing is trivial. Everything that happens, be it a greeting, a hug, a sudden rain shower, has a mission. And if you are sensitive enough to realize it, your heart will be full of life. Gratitude does not make all problems disappear, but it makes you strong enough to go through them. It helps you not to miss precious moments, not to postpone living fully, not to wait until you lose them to regret. Because happiness is not a destination, but the ability to feel every little thing that happens in the present. It is when you drink a cup of tea and feel warm. It is when you sit next to someone and do not need to say anything, just be present. Gratitude is the art of turning the ordinary into a miracle. It is when our hearts open, and the world responds with the most wonderful things. Let's start from today. Be thankful that you are alive, to love, to make mistakes, to learn, and to continue. Be thankful for every little thing, for it is they that make up a great life. There is a journey that everyone must go through, sooner or later, whether they want to or not. That journey does not require a ticket, has no specific destination, and no one can accompany us completely. Because it is the journey back to ourselves. Life keeps pushing us forward, faster, further, noisier. We live amidst a myriad of roles: good son, model employee, good friend, ideal lover. We try to please everyone, smile in every situation, be patient and reasonable. Then, there are times when we return home, close the door, look at ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves, who am I? How many times have you been so tired that you don't know why you have to try anymore? How many times have you smiled while your heart was empty? How many times have you nodded while your heart was screaming in protest? We lose ourselves, little by little, through the days of living for others, through the times of silence to keep things quiet, through the times of telling ourselves, just try a little longer. But then one day, the loneliness can no longer be denied. The feeling of loneliness fills up. And the heart begins to speak. It calls you back. Back to yourself. Back to the real you, no hiding, no burdening, no embellishment. Coming back to yourself is not running away. On the contrary, it is the courage to face it. It is daring to look at the unhealed wound. It is daring to admit the fragility, the flaws, the desires that have been buried for too long. It is stopping living according to expectations, and starting to listen to the true voice in your heart. When you come back, you will realize, you don't need to be perfect to be worthy of love. You don't need to be better than anyone else to be valuable. You don't need to live loudly to be recognized. You just need to be honest with yourself, and persevere in healing step by step. The journey is not easy. You will find yourself lost, there will be times when you return to the old paths. But the miracle is, every time you choose to come back to yourself, you save yourself. Every tear, every awakening, every step in silence, all are evidence of true growth. You will learn how to breathe again, how to listen to your true feelings, how to say no when necessary and yes when your heart is moved. You will find peace in your solitude, and no longer need the crowd to prove your existence. Coming back to yourself is the greatest journey because only then can you live truly. You can truly love. You can be truly free. And when you touch the deepest part of yourself, the pure, gentle, sincere place, you will see, you lack nothing. You have always been full. It's just that you have forgotten who you are. Come home, when you are tired. Come home, before it is too late. Because that place, where you are truly you, is the only home worth returning to. People often say, you have to persevere until the end. Don't give up. Don't quit. But no one teaches us that, there are things that need to be let go to survive. There are people that need to be let go so that the heart has room to breathe. In everyone's heart, there is something that we hold on to, a relationship that has run out of love, a job that no longer represents us, a painful past that we dare not close. We hold on to it, even though our hands are bleeding. We think that if we let go, we will lose. We will fail. We will be seen as weak. But my friend, holding on to a rotten door does not make the house stronger. Holding on to a toxic relationship does not make you brave. The truth is, letting go is not a failure. Letting go is an act of courage. When you are strong enough to say, I deserve peace. We are not born to endure forever. No one forces you to live in something that is no longer meant for you. No one has the right to force you to hold on to sadness, disappointment, or an outdated part of your life. Sometimes, you have to be the one to bravely refuse something you once wanted, to save yourself. Letting go is when you understand that love does not mean holding on. It is when you accept that not every relationship has a happy ending. It is when you let go of a job that has exhausted you, to start over with new hope. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty for letting go. Don't let fear make you stand still in a place where you no longer belong. It will hurt. There will be times when you cry in the middle of the night, or look back with regret. But then you will see, after the tears is peace. After the void is the opportunity to be filled with something new. And after letting go is a lighter, freer, and more real version of you. There are people who walk away from your life, not to make you lonely, but to make you learn to stand on your own 2 feet. There are things that leave you, not to punish you, but to make room for something better to come. Letting go is not giving up happiness, but opening the door for true happiness to enter. And then one day, you will thank yourself for daring to leave a place that no longer belongs, daring to close the old chapter to write a new page of life. A page of life where you no longer just survive, but start to truly live. Remember, no one can heal you but yourself. And sometimes, the only medicine is letting go. Life doesn't always go our way. There are things we once loved deeply, held on to tightly, that we eventually have to let go of. But that doesn't mean we're weak or a failure. Letting go is not a defeat, but an act of courage, the courage to choose something better for our soul. When we dare to let go of a toxic relationship, a job that is no longer suitable, or memories that hurt us, we are giving ourselves the opportunity to be reborn, to live true to our own values, emotions, and dreams. That release is the beginning of true peace and maturity. The profound lesson here is, knowing when to let go is an important life skill. It helps us purify our souls, choose what to keep, and have the courage to say goodbye to what is no longer us. Because only when we let go of the burden can we gently move forward towards a better future.